Hold on, I need to throw a shirt on. Not prepared. There we go. I got it. I don't want you to see my beer belly. So I'm going to get a nasty old white shirt on here. I'm going to start this one off pretty fun with some, because cool stuff's pretty good to have on Saturday or on Monday rather than crappy stuff. Let me get my computer situated here. Yeah, I just got out of the bed. Ha! What up, C4? This is going to be fun, bro. I got some good funny shit going. Gonna start off with this hilarious, brother. Let me get the volume up. In about 8 minutes, it's a Gator Gitmo, 84,000 subscribers. It's Wicked AI.
Some build walls.
Volunteers with a unique skill set.
And this is our state-of-the-art, 100% organic biological filtration system. It also doubles as our welcome committee.
Get it off me. This is inhumane.
Ma'am, our reptilian range and ethically sourced. Got a bite? Careful, if it's one of the staff, you have to throw it back.
What's up, Hunter? This is a little funny on
This place is
Alligator
a
Alley.
supervillain's lair.
Thank you. We've been working very hard on the branding.
Gordon, critics say holding people in name.
It's an Blades experience. We spare no expense providing that authenticity.
This very land was saved from a jet port in the 60s. It's a protected treasure.
And look at us now, turning freedom.
Gator Gitmo is a concentration camp!
Sir, this is a wetland.
Obviously.
No. Go. Swim to freedom.
No, you can't use the Python airdrop card on my protester piece. That's an illegal move.
This one's got a rattle in the tail again.
Just put in a maintenance request. They'll get to it.
A honey badger.
Frank, we've discussed this. The power consumption is still too high.
But, sir, think of the morale boost. And the laser dot chase feature is a huge enrichment activity.
Can you respond to Germany's claim that Gator Gitmo violates international law? Germany should focus less on our reptile security and more on their NATO spending.
It's a brilliant jobs program. We're putting America's alligators back to work.
They're not alligators. They're amphibious government drones. The pythons are the charging cables.
And the Lord said, let there be a moat, and let it be filled with my scaliest, toothiest angels. Amen?
And that's why Warden Stone is my hero. He proves even patriots with lots of teeth can serve America.
Johnson. Never mind. Moving on. Rodriguez.
Got to keep the night shift happy. Their morale is crucial for our operational success.
Check.
Hold on, my queen is trying to crawl away again.
Wow, Hector. Such passion. I love how you've captured the team spirit.
The targeting matrix is still
I
in
don't
its
do
calibration
football. That's
phase.
why I didn't know if it was on or not.
I see.
This is making fun of Gitmo, whatever it's called, Gitmo Alley.
Circular motions. Her quarterly review is tomorrow.
It's the amphibian union rep again. He's filing a grievance about the Fireflies' overtime.
This tastes chewy.
It's locally sourced. You're tasting freedom.
They'll think I'm one of them, a new recruit.
They will think you are a poorly painted snack.
This can get me a boat, right? That couldn't even buy you one of Sergeant Snappy's baby teeth.
Excuse me, what's up, Sebastian?
Scatteros, with the taste of freedom in every bite. Now with free Patriotic Python marshmallows. Part of a patriotically complete breakfast.
The 2026 Ford F-150. Built Ford tough, but is it Gator Gitmo tough?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Figure we start off Monday with something funny. You gotta come in here a few times, Sebastian. Yeah, it's Alligator Alcatraz. It's making fun
Which
of-
way is north?
It's a farce on liberals' take. It's like a funny, or I guess a conservative's video on how to Gitmo, and they're making.
And here are your complimentary ICE branded mosquito nets. You get one. Do not lose it. I am serious.
Oh, I'm just so proud of my little Chompy. He just made Senior Deterrence Agent of the Month. Yes, we're framing the certificate.
You dropped a python on our consulate's intern.
He was in Florida.
What is the single biggest challenge you face here?
The paperwork. You have no idea how much paperwork is involved in requisitioning a tactical python.
Wardenstone.
Your critics call this facility cartoonishly evil.
I call it the American dream, with more teeth.
We're sending a message. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Only patriots with scales.
It's about damn time we put the Gators on the government payroll.
Look at them. They had a fight last week, but I think they're going to make it.
This Gator Gitmo dignity. A barbaric spectacle.
And for the Glades tomorrow, a high of 98 with a 30% chance of python showers.
This facility will irreversibly damage the entire ecosystem.
So you're saying we need more gators to balance it out? I can put in the requisition.
Gator Gitmo. Some build walls. We nurture ecosystems of freedom.
We will check out your channel, Sebastian.
Phase 2.
We will check out your channel. Sebastian Cristobola Valdez Batista. Go check out his channel and subscribe to him. Quit. So, eyeballs, I'm not leaving you up here. All right. Next one is going to be another funny. I think it is. Let's see. Oh, yes. This is hilarious. You guys are going to be so insulted. It's just funny. Germany, 1933. This is liberal goes back in time to kill Hitler. The Babylon Bee. This is funny.
So good. So good.
I'm a time
2025, and I've come here to kill you, Hitler.
Oh, not again. I'm never gonna have enough time to finish these paintings with all of these time travelers trying to kill me.
Well, I'm going to succeed.
Before you pull the trigger, can I just ask why? Why do all of you people want to kill me?
Isn't it obvious?
This is funny.
I'm a progressive, a liberal, a fighter for social justice. And you are a fascist who implemented a reign of terror. And while the effects of your policies devastated the world for decades, soon we will be able to take back the White House. And we will be able to use the government to force people to follow our great ideas.
You want to use government power to force your ideas on the populace. Me too! That's fantastic!
What? No. Ugh. You and I have nothing in common. What I'm saying is there are people in our time with dangerous ideas, and we need to silence them.
Silencing those who disagree with you. I do that too! Oh, wunderbar! Oh, the Nazi movement will not die with me.
Don't give me that. I'm enlightened, and you're as bad as, well, as Hitler. Listen, what I'm trying to say is we are very close to implementing a utopia, as long as we can get rid of some certain undesirable evil groups.
Yes, like the Jews.
Yes, like the Jews. Oh.
So, in the future, you also do not like the Jews?
Well, no. But we don't believe in segregating all the races like you do. I mean, except for like graduation ceremonies. And dorms. And hiring practices. Oh, and admissions policies. That sort of thing.
I, too, am a fan of the segregation. I'm sorry, I have to ask, is this a real firearm or is this some kind of toy for kids?
It's a flare gun. I'm trying not to support America's toxic gun culture. I'm a firm believer in gun control.
Gun control! This was one of my ideas, too. Ban them from the undesirables. Yes, look here. Oh, and your shirt. This is an organization founded by Margaret Sanger. Yes?
Oh, this is funny.
You know about Margaret Sanger?
Jawohl, of course. Oh, she's such a lovely person.
No. She's a fighter for reproductive rights, for women's empowerment,
and the eradication of undesirable populations by means of eugenics. Brilliant lady, very inspiring. I must use some of her ideas in our socialized healthcare system.
Socialized healthcare? That's not your thing. That's our thing.
Oh no, it's very much.
Listen,
my thing.
this is funny.
Did you know that Nazi means National Socialist German Workers' Party? Nazi is just more catchy. Nazi. Rolls off the tongue.
No.
Rolls off the tongue.
This can't be true. This has to be some sort of mistake. We are nothing alike. You're Adolf Hitler, evil right-wing fascist dictator, and I'm a feminist restorative justice advocate. And a vegetarian.
You're a vegetarian?
Me too! Okay, I am so... I came here with a clear goal in mind to kill the most evil man who I've ever lived. Besides Ronald Reagan. But now that I'm meeting you in person, you're not at all what I thought you were. And your painting is actually really good. What do you call it?
I call it Ein Reich ohne Juden.
Wow. I don't know what that means, but it sounds beautiful.
Oh, that's so funny. I saw that. I said, I got to show this. Like I said, I was going to start the day off with some laughs. Let's see here. Oh my God, someone took out a 1 million. Here's a business opportunity. It's been around for a long time, ever since they shut them down, but it's coming back. This is someone, CNBC, Make It. They got like 1.8 million subscribers. Took out a $1 million loan to buy a movie theater. It brings in $550K a year in Lee Valley, Pennsylvania. So they're making about $500,000 a year off of running a drive-in theater.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Shankweiler's Drive-In Theater. Our snack bar is open, and we've got our full menu tonight. Burgers, hot dogs, fries, funnel cakes, and, of course, the best popcorn in the Lehigh Valley. Please double, triple, and quadruple check that all of your headlights and running lights are turned off. Without further ado, on with the show. Shankweiler's was listed for sale off and on for 6 to 7 years.
We were all just very nervous that it was going to get leveled and made into apartments or a warehouse.
I had the qualifications, we had the background, we had the blueprints to redefine the business, so who else was going to do it but us? I'm Matthew McClanahan, and I'm 35 years old.
I'm Lauren McChesney, and I'm 41 years old.
And we're the owners of Shankweiler's Drive-In Theater in Orfield, Pennsylvania.
This is someone starting their own business in America. Holy shit. Didn't know that was possible. Kidding, of course.
Shankweiler's is a first-run theater. That means we predominantly play brand new movies.
We do a double feature every night.
So in the summer months, we skew to family-friendly programming, a lot of PG and PG-13 movies that bring in large family crowds from both the area and beyond. And in the winter months, as it gets colder and schools open back up, we skew our programming to a more adult audience.
So we have a little something for everybody.
Some of our expenses are our utilities and power. That's a huge one, especially given the size of our projection equipment and all of our kitchen equipment drawing a lot of current. Film licensing is the number one. That's really where we spend most of our money. A little bit over 50% of what we earn on ticket revenue goes right back to the studio. And that's the average.
It's about a third of our entire operating expense. Writing a $50,000 payment to a movie studio is still
it's still a little gut wrenching. In the summer months, we have a larger crew operating the snack bar, and that adds up. Food cost of goods sold, that fluctuates pretty wildly depending on how popular a movie is, the time of year. With studio payments, it's dependent on how many tickets we sell. So if the studio payment is high, it's because we've earned a lot of money. The mortgage does not change. It does not care if you sold tickets or not. I have a background in film and filmmaking, and Shankweiler specifically, it was my childhood theater growing up. So for me, this is kind of a personal full circle experience.
Just an idea for people. I don't want to watch the whole thing. I just wanted to bring that to the table, make people think of what's out there. I know we have a drive-in theater across the bridge in Concord, and on the weekends it's not a drive-in anymore. It's only open because on the weekends they use it as a flea market. This is a quickie. NBC 10 Boston. New Alzheimer's study finds simple treatment could restore memory. It's only 2 minutes.
That is plaguing millions of Americans. Alzheimer's. A new study from Harvard shows tiny doses of lithium may reverse brain aging. NBC 10 public health reporter Malcolm Johnson is on.
Go out and hop on that fucking battery, buddy.
At Harvard Medical School, lithium is showing the ability to resist Alzheimer's and brain aging.
It suggests that individuals who start losing their memory as they age might in fact be losing lithium in the brain, and that might be able to be reversed by a simple treatment.
Dr. Bruce Yonkner, the team's senior author, says lithium seems to somehow turn back the clock. Yonkner and his team found that feeding lithium to mice that showed signs of dementia restored their memory.
If you give them just a very low dose of this very interesting new lithium compound, you can counteract many of these features of aging, and the mice look more like a young adult mouse.
Nearly 7 million Americans suffer the mind-robbing disease.
If we can translate what we found in mice to humans, the implications will be great. And what's more,
Also an
this
investment
type of
opportunity.
treatment would be very inexpensive. Or a pill, maybe less.
The research, 10 years in the making, creates a new approach to designing medications to treat and prevent Alzheimer's.
It would have direct impact on how we design medicines in the future.
And Dr. Yonkner says they could not quite believe that when people started to lose their memory, it seemed to be preceded by a loss of lithium. Reporting in East.
Isn't that just interesting? Everyone, go out to your car, your electric vehicle, and start sucking up some lithium. Yeah, you see what I'm saying, man? Maybe these electric cars aren't all that bad after all. Weird video, but it goes to, inhale, you get the fumes, go to the exhaust. This is a kind of weird video. It's top Chinese companies and local governments refuse to hire grads of foreign universities. This is just, I just wanted to give this as a little, we're not going to, this guy has, because I talk about the Chinese government.
DeepSeek is a Chinese AI program that is comparable to Western models like ChatGPT and Grok, and it was built for just a fraction of the price. This company and its CEO became instantly famous a few months ago, and so was the news that the DeepSeek system was developed entirely by young graduates of Chinese. Haigui are students from China who go abroad to study and then return. So DeepSeek is viewed by Chinese as a homegrown success story.
But see, it's not a homegrown success story. They ship all their people out, get educated, then bring them back and don't hire. And they take the foreign knowledge and now claim it as Chinese knowledge. It's an attempt of an economic takeover, part of the World War III economic war that I think we're in right now with China.
At about this, another Chinese CEO, this one of a major appliances company, said basically the same thing. In this story, strangely, Dong Mingzhu is CEO of Gree Electric Appliances, and she was at a closed-door meeting with shareholders and said that her company was committed to only hiring graduates of domestic universities.
Earn 100,000 points and a $500 Chase travel credit with Chase Sapphire Reserve.
Again, this was not a public meeting, but a video of her remarks got out and of her concern that graduates of foreign schools may pose a security risk to the company. Earlier in 2022, she said that her company had 10,000 staff working in R&D, and all of them were from China. But this time, an intense debate kicked off with influential people weighing in. A famous TV host, the editorial page of a Beijing paper were critical. The Shanxi Returnees Chamber of Commerce published an open letter demanding she apologize to overseas students and to the whole society. There are 6 million overseas students who have returned to China. China's society is really big too, so that's a lot of apologizing. Most of us were dubious, though, that anything consequential was likely to happen to a Chinese CEO of a Chinese company telling Chinese investors that she prefers Chinese graduates from Chinese universities, and that she did so in a private meeting. Plus, it was hard to see any difference between the employment and hiring practices at Gree Electric Appliances and the one at DeepSeek, which we learned about from public speeches and interviews by its CEO.
Anyhow, the point that I want to bring across on that is that the Chinese not only steal our intellectual property. When you go over there to do business, they tell you to leave your computers in America or whatever your country you're in, because what will happen as soon as you turn your computer on, do business, next day, you turn your computer off, you turn it back on, it'll be wiped clean because someone hacked it. And that's a commonality when you go to China to do business. So to have them start acting like this from a CEO point of view is very disturbing, because there is no separation of private and public stuff. That CEO of that company is a CCP card carrying member. She would not have her job if she was not part of the Communist Chinese Party. So it's very disturbing to hear that they're doing that. And especially if you understand that we're in an economic war with them right now, which a lot of people don't. But. And now here's another. We probably won't watch the whole thing.
Manzanillo on Mexico's Pacific coast, the country's largest port and gateway for 40% of its foreign trade, an unprecedented wave of abandoned cargo has erupted. In June alone, nearly 900 containers filled with Chinese goods were left behind by their owners, a year-on-year surge of more than 300%. Custom inspections delivered a devastating verdict. Most of the shipments were classified as counterfeit or pirated goods.
Keep that in mind. There's 900 containers down there, 40-foot containers. Most of them are pirated and counterfeit goods. All of them came from China. Those people didn't want to pay the tariff because they're basically, what they just said is there's 900 containers down there of stolen intellectual property that China made, that they stole the idea from someone else and they just made it and started selling it. And it's not profitable for them to pay the tariff, so they'll just leave the product there. This is another thing about China and the economic war. They're selling pirated and counterfeit goods, and have been for a long time to us, and this proves it.
下午啊，刚接到一个朋友的电话，我的心啊都替他凉了一半。
Hey, what's up,
This
Mike?
afternoon, a friend called me. My heart just sank for him. His shipment to Mexico was one of those 900 abandoned containers. 400,000 yuan in goods and 30,000 in shipping costs, all gone.
What's
His
up,
voice was
Jeffro?
shaking over the phone. 900 containers left stranded. You know what that means? Even conservatively, it's worth about 400,000 yuan. So 900 of them, that's 360 million yuan. Faucet business, a 20-foot container runs around 1.2 million. These aren't just numbers. They're the blood, sweat, and tears of factories, trading companies, and overseas clients. It's workers' overtime pay, families' hopes. The worst part? Those goods sit at the Mexican port, racking up massive storage fees every day, only to end up as garbage. I keep wondering, what are those business owners doing now? Some are probably clinging to hope, chasing down clients. Others might be liquidating assets or planning to skip town. Some are likely hiding somewhere sobbing. They're grinding online, but offline, it's all falling apart.
However, this vlogger failed to address a key issue. Many exporters could not provide proper paperwork through legitimate channels, leading customs to flag the goods as counterfeit. In many cases, the declarations simply did not match what was actually inside the containers.
Problem, Mike. Chanel is made in China anyway. It doesn't matter if they're counterfeit. True that. The thing is, though, people are the way economies work. If we take money out of this dot here, and we give it to this dot here by the exchange of goods and services, or goods in this case, guy is getting a lot of money. This guy is getting the goods. But if the goods are, this guy's giving his money to this guy, and this guy's going uphill. And the thing is, this is America. This is China. Yeah, China's going up, America's going down, because we're giving them money for crap goods. That is just, it's another reason why I say we've been in an economic war with China for a while. But we will win it, trust me. And technologically, we are not behind China. They are not ahead of us. We have been allowing, by rules and regulations of leaders in charge of the Western nations, China to steal intellectual property. It is an ongoing joke. If you're a businessman and you go to China, you know anything you take there that's intellectual property is going to get stolen from you. It's a known fact. So they're not ahead of us technologically. What happens is they steal our technology, our intellectual property, and they don't have constraints in building. If someone gets their hand cut off, too freaking bad. You don't get sued. They don't have the same laws as us. So they can build things quicker after they steal the technology. And that's why they're, quote unquote, ahead of us.
Online reactions were blunt. One viewer commented, "If it involves fake goods and intellectual property violations, then this outcome is deserved." Another pointed out that legitimate exporters using proper clearance procedures are not affected. The crisis, they said, comes from so-called grey clearance shipments, a form of smuggling. Because Mexico's overall tax rate is relatively high, some smaller cross-border sellers try to cut costs through grey clearance, disrupting the entire market. Industry insiders report that many containers have already been seized, with even close contacts in their circles caught up in the crackdown. Others revealed that thousands of containers are now stranded at Mexican ports, many stuck for more than 3 months. The abandoned shipments of Chinese goods at the port of Manzanillo have sparked widespread concern. At the center of the storm is Mexico's intensified campaign against counterfeit trade. The National Customs Agency of Mexico, or ANAM, has rolled out tough new measures, leaving no room for shipments without proper compliance documents. Those goods face only one fate, being abandoned. Most of the
You can believe they have a better economy than us, Mike, but you actually need to do some research. The only reason their electric car company, BYU or BUY, or I think it's BYU, is number one in the world is it's 100% subsidized by the Chinese Communist Party government, meaning they're number one because they're funneling so much money into it. Tesla could be number one if American taxpayer funneled more money into them too. Is that economic growth? No, those are false numbers. China is all about false numbers. Their government is their business. If they want to grow in one sector, they throw money at it to make it look like growth, because we here on the West don't understand that they don't separate their government from their business. Their business is the government. And we even have a problem conceiving that. But that's why we have an economic war going on.
seized containers are filled with counterfeit Chinese products ranging from perfumes, cosmetics, handbags, tennis shoes, and sneakers to tools, tires, and textiles. A single custom fine can wipe out the entire value of the container, leaving exporters with nothing but losses. Digging deeper into the wave of abandoned shipments, shocking truth have come to light. Document discrepancies. Bills of landing and packing lists often bear no resemblance of the actual cargo inside. Goods simply don't match the paperwork. False declarations. Overseas agents fail to declare the real product information, leaving hidden risk buried in the process. Abandonment as damage control. Faced with massive fines and the threat of lawsuits, many importers are left with no choice but to walk away from their goods. To combat increasingly sophisticated smuggling and concealment methods, the Mexican government has built a highly refined cross-verification system. At Manzanillo Port, custom officials now rely on advanced technology, including gamma-ray scanners, X-ray machines, and multi-layered inspection networks. The port has also deployed specialized inspection teams, seasoned chemical experts, and trained sniffer dogs. Suspicious containers flagged by the system or inspectors are subject to full unpacking and inspection, ensuring that every shipment is 100% legal and compliant. As Mexico's customs enforcement grow tighter, importers attempting to smuggle goods, underreport prices, or ship counterfeit products are finding the cost and risk impossibly high, leaving abandonment as their only option. Deputy Director of Custom Operations at Manzanillo, Luis Angel Martinez Cabrera, explained that importers abandon their cargo mainly because...
All right, since we don't want to stick on topic, Mike, it's not going to happen. There's new air companies coming in with electric planes and electric cars that are flying, and all this new tech's going to come in. And if Boeing can't stay afloat, they're going to sink because they can't keep up with industry. I've been showing different plane models on my show for the past couple of weeks that are just now starting to come out end of 2025, beginning of 2026. And a lot of them are going to replace domestic flights, not international, domestic flights, which is severely going to affect their business anyhow. So most of them are going to go out of business, most of the big airliners. Now, back to the show.
Because of tougher anti-smuggling enforcement and disputes over tariff classifications, not because of customs inefficiency. Martinez noted that while abandoned shipments don't impact tariff collection, they do require length.
Now, if you really want to bankrupt America, what you need to do is you need to kill China's economy, kill Russia's economy, to kill 186 world economies out there, because then you'll be able to kill. Because we're the one that everyone was bitching. Oh, you're a consumer nation. Okay, so if you kill our economy, Whose goods are we going to? Who's going to sell to us? What are they going to do? What's that? Their manufacturer sit at their harbors and say, "Oh, we don't have no one to ship to. Oh, we're gonna die now because we have all these products and we can't sell them because the American consumer is no longer." No, we will be the last ones to fall, bruh. Everyone needs to get a hold of that reality.
Lengthening inspection and disposal procedures. This clogs the port's operations and severely reduces throughput efficiency. Compared to Europe and the United States, Mexico's customs clearance process is notably more complex for 4 key reasons. First, seizure upon report. If a brand rights holder files a complaint, suspected counterfeit goods are almost certain to be seized. Second, heavy penalties without authorization. Any branded goods lacking official licensing documents face routine detention, fines, and confiscation. Third, the OEM original equipment manufacturer trap. Even legitimate OEM products can be seized as counterfeit mark is not registered.
And that's why we have a digital overlay, ISO 222. Mark, you need to watch my shows, man. You're saying redundant stuff. Get up to speed or stick with what we're showing and watch some of my shows in the past that cover the conversation that you want to have right now.
With Mexican customs or proper authorization papers are missing, a major challenge for Chinese OEM exporters. Fourth, collective liability in shared containers. If even one item in a confiscated shipment is suspected of infringement, the entire container is subject to inspection. The resulting delays, high storage cost, and uncontrollable risk often forces consignees to abandon the entire container, leaving innocent exporters with devastating losses. Since the start of 2025, Mexico has entered a period of intensified custom inspections. As early as March 5th, the National Customs Agency of Mexico carried out major anti-smuggling operations at the Pantaco.
And I don't think they've mentioned it yet, but if you're wondering how Chinese fentanyl would be getting to America, they just explained it and they're stopping it and they're giving the explanation that they're giving right now. There was probably about 10 of those 900 containers had illegal substances in it that basically you could either make fentanyl or it was fentanyl.
Customs facility in Mexico City, seizing Chinese goods worth more than 300 million pesos, equivalent to about $16 million US. The raid targeted 33 containers of illicit products, including speakers, electric roller skates, motorcycles, scooters, bicycles, drill bits, hydraulic jacks, toys, backpacks, clothing, and office chairs. According to Mexican authorities, the goods were classified as smuggled products because importers either failed to provide valid documentation or filed false custom declarations. In some cases, containers declared only minimal tax values while the actual worth of the cargo was many times higher. The government described the action as compliance enforcement under the framework of national security, but withheld details of specific violations. Reports have also circulated widely across the industry that Mexican authorities are setting up joint inspection checkpoints along major highways to examine container
What's up, Mike?
trucks, highlighting anxiety among local sellers and freight forwarders.
What am I talking about?
The crackdown has sparked widespread attention and debate. For Mexico, where manufacturing makes up only a modest share of the GDP, cheap Chinese imports have placed immense pressure on small and medium-sized factories, many of which are on the brink of collapse.
Sorry, guys. I could tell that Mike, or what's his name, was just a heckler, Mark, so I got rid of him.
The government is under growing pressure to show it.
AI is transforming customer service. It's obvious we know that. The leader in the category is our product, Finn.
Is protecting domestic.
I mean, if you're gonna be a dick on my show, I don't tolerate it. I gave him several chances, and all he wanted to do is, well, you should watch the liberal thing I did on Hitler. That was so funny.
Industry. Business leaders in Mexico have criticized China's low price competition for eroding the local market. Recently, the country has put forward plans to reduce imports from China. On January 13, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo announced her intention to cut Chinese imports in order to support domestic industries while strengthening alliance with the United States and Canada. The disruptive impact of low-cost Chinese goods on global market has prompted countries to step up intellectual property enforcement in 2025. On June 26, the European Public Prosecutor Office, EPPO, launched a coordinated operation codenamed Calypso across 14 EU members countries, seizing 480 Chinese containers in one sweep. A total of 101 search operations were carried out in Bulgaria, Greece, France, and Spain. Targets include custom brokerage offices, companies allegedly controlled by criminal groups, private residences of suspects.
By the way, who here else has thought about there's 900 containers that are going to be sold real cheap if anyone wants them in Mexico port because they got extras they're going to need to get rid of.
As well as tax advisors, law firms, accounting offices, and transport companies. The raids expose a massive criminal network suspected of evading custom duties and value-added tax on Chinese imports through illegal means. The seized goods include vast quantities of textiles, footwear, electric scooters, and e-bikes. Almost simultaneously, alarms sounded at cargo terminals in Rotterdam, Netherlands.
Jeffro, you know what they would look like. Du sprechen Sie Deutsch?
And container yards in Piraeus, Greece. EPPO enforcement teams stormed a facility seizing 5.8 million euros in cash, which included Hong Kong dollars, euros and digital wallets, and cryptocurrency. Of that amount, 4.75 million euros was confiscated in Greece, with the rest seized in France and Spain. EPPO also seized 7,133 electric bicycles, 3,696 electric scooters, and 480 containers. The containers are subject to further inspections at the port of Piraeus. In Spain, 11 properties, 27 vehicles, and luxury goods, including watches, handbags, and jewelry, were confiscated. Additionally, in Greece, freeze orders were issued on real estate, vessels, and bank accounts. According to EPPO, the criminal group has caused economic losses amounting to nearly 700 million euros, equivalent to nearly 820 million US dollars for the European Union and Greece.
And that is why you need to get rid of these people, because that's money that could have stayed in those economies and been transferred back to the people. Ooh. And just because I love the CCP so much,
Trump called it
the Johnson Anderson Media, 750,000 subscribers. Chinese spies are infiltrating U.S. colleges. Victor Davis Hanson.
Chinese virus his first term. Almost immediately, China said, this is what you guys did to the Japanese in World War II. This is the yellow peril scare of the 19th century. You're discriminating. And they appealed to the 12% of Asians in the United States and made that propaganda that they were part of the DEI project. They were just the global representation of Asians who were being discriminated in universities in America. They really played that up here. We had a lot of high-profile Fang Fang, the notorious operative from the Chinese Communist Party, who was a consort of Representative Swalwell, and that was the narrative we heard. And it was very effective among left-wing circles that anybody who is pushing around China is a Donald Trump racist. And I think the United States got a little bit smarter with that and started talking about the actual 2 or 3% who are engaged in espionage, which, given the numbers, is pretty large, 5,000 or 6,000 students.
Yeah.
And I think we've never been more open and candid about support for Taiwan. A lot of people.
And that is why Trump won his lawsuit against Harvard and has them basically getting out their Chinese students and getting more domestic students. And because Harvard's sold out to foreigners. Because foreigners pay full tuition and Americans can get discounts.
People, and we have never been closer militarily with South Korea and Japan. We've got some trade issues, but I think China has almost failed in that effort to convince Americans that if you're skeptical of the Chinese government, then somehow you're a anti-DI, anti-Chinese racist. That was what we heard in the universities.
Well, I'm an anti-CCP racist. I'll tell you that right now.
The Stanford Review Student Magazine ran an investigative series of articles about Chinese students that were terrified of the Chinese government because they're all indoctrinated and
Hang in there,
questioned
C4.
before they come here and when they leave, and they don't want to be. And the article was by anonymous Chinese students that were telling the coercion that the communist government puts on them and the dangers they feel that they're in if they don't cooperate and the dangers they feel they're in if they do under the new administration that has zero tolerance for it. But the thrust of the paper was sympathetic to Chinese students. And one thing that's very clear here in the United States is the majority, because we've had 6-7 generations of Chinese Americans, the vast majority are pro-Taiwanese and hostile to the communist government. And because of the nature of immigration to the United States, we still have multi-generational Chinese
Jeff.
families that don't speak Mandarin. They're
I was trying to
Cantonese,
take it down
and
from the top. I didn't mean to
they're
delete
not
your
part of
statement.
the,
Sorry,
the
brother.
mainstream Chinese narrative, and they
I am on actual YouTube creators, and the buttons don't work the same, Jeffro. I actually wanted to keep your statement up there. I wanted to highlight it like I do on StreamYard, but I was unable to, and I was able to pin it. And when I went to unpin it, it deleted your message. I did not want to delete your message. Just want to let you know that up front, brother. I did not want to delete your message. I apologize.
they have strong relations with Taiwan, and so I don't think that's going to work as well as the Chinese.
Although
thought.
China
That's
gave me
propaganda.
$20 to do it, bro. Just kidding. Yeah, sorry about that, bro. That's why I'm looking down as a new share button to share screen. Here we go. You guys should like this lady. Promethean updates.
Peskov told CNN yesterday that Putin agreed in Alaska to security guarantees for Ukraine and legislation barring Russia from taking any more land in Ukraine or Europe if a peace deal can be reached.
We were able to win the following concession, that the United States could offer Article 5-like protection, which is one of the real reasons why Ukraine wants to be in NATO. We sort of were able to bypass that and get an agreement that the United States could offer Article 5 protection, which was the first time we had ever heard the Russians agree to that.
Witkoff said this was a game changer, and it is. But the security guarantees language is making everyone, myself and Steve Bannon included, very nervous. Today, Europe's illicit leaders will back up Ukraine's Zelensky in a meeting at the White House. They will argue for security arrangements and other means to keep the war going.
This will be the last video I make for now.
Good.
I'm being
I'm
threatened,
sick
and I
of
don't
looking
want
at
to
you.
put my family at risk.
I'm Barbara Boyd, and I've followed the British.
Anyhow, by the way, I at the White House with Trump and EU and all these presidents, Macron, Zelensky, a whole bunch of other people, EU, NATO head. There was this dude, as the camera was looking at Trump, he was to the left of Trump, to the right as you were looking at Trump. He tried to say something about a ceasefire. And Trump just looked at him and took over the stage and said, yeah, we'll consider that. But I've already done 7 stop wars, and I'd rather stop the war than a ceasefire. So he already shut down what this lady was talking about. I saw it today in the White House. I wasn't at the White House. It was videoed at the White House.
Imperial attack on Russia and the United States since the 2014 coup in Ukraine. Today, I'll tell you more about what really happened in Alaska. Then I'm going to show you what you might not appreciate about Trump saying Ukraine is Biden's war. Finally, I'm going to talk about developments in Trump's battle to take out our deep state, which involves the very same people who started the war in Ukraine.
No shit.
But before I start, if you're a fan of the show and you haven't already, now, Ambassador Witkoff's statement about Ukrainian security guarantees, like Article 5 of NATO, raises a big question for me. Are we obligating ourselves to a new war if these two nations, which hate each other, manage to break the peace? Then I thought about it. What is Putin getting in return if he's willing to make that concession? Why would he make that concession when he is winning a war? Well, there's also about land swaps, that Trump will push Ukraine to give up the Donbass, the area of eastern.
Okay, I gotta say something here. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go through my videos. It's gonna take me a while. I did a video where I received a map of what Russia wanted Ukraine to look like after the war was over, and Poland and two other countries that border Ukraine liked the map when they saw it, and I did a video on it, and I'm very interested to see if the map a couple of years ago that I had received is the same or basic lines that Russia will get through these concessions at the end of this war.
In Ukraine, which has already voted to join Russia and has been in a civil war with the Ukrainian regime since 2014. In addition, all the territory Russia has gained will remain with Russia. But I think there's much, much more involved here. Putin keeps saying the root causes of the war have to be addressed to make peace. He's talking about the modern British to overthrow the Russian government and break up Russia. That plan has been in effect since the Berlin Wall fell in 1989.